Are you pregnant, Amy? I don't want to cheat and look. I'm just going to stare at you. Oh, yeah, she's definitely pregnant. That didn't take long. Hi, this is Cass from Aussie Cass Plays, and welcome back to the noble generation of my medieval legacy challenge. It's actually little Amy's birthday, and it's also summer solstice. It wasn't going to be summer solstice, but then I recorded a machinima which took 2 days in game, so Amy's birthday is now on summer solstice. We had to invite some guests over and socialize with them. I actually invited Boston, because he's not our butler today, and I invited Galahad, because he's Gabriel's good friend. Mortimer actually showed up on his own, and given that Mortimer is Amy's uncle on 2 different ways, he married her aunt and her dad married his sister, so via 2 different ways he's actually her uncle. So I figured that the prince couldn't come and the family couldn't come, so Mortimer's repping the family. So, you know, that is what it is. I've made a cake already. I've just popped it over here. I've got Mira. No, don't eat. Please don't eat that. Mira's literally making a grand meal. Now, I have aged Galahad up. He's the same age as Gabriel, so I figured he should be a young adult, and he is now a knight. He's not a squire anymore. His dad, Asher, is still technically the knight in charge of the Henford-on-Bagley region, but his son is doing the bulk of the physical work now because his dad is actually an elder. If you've watched the machinima that came out, it will have come out probably a couple of days before this video. It just depends when I get time to edit this, and honestly, you'll be across the various things that have been happening in Bartholomew's life. It's been probably a few months now since he ran off with Emily. Oh, she's gone out to... She's a loner. She actually needs none of these objectives because she's a teen, although I'm going to age her up because she's a loner. She doesn't care about either of these. Oh, it just started raining. That's actually really convenient because it's raining here where I am, and I was a little bit worried the sound of the rain was super loud. And you guys would be like, why is it sounding like it's raining? Shouldn't be a fox in the house. Get out. Shoo. Shoo shoo. I like to imagine the Fae are actually keeping an eye on Gabriel for Bartholomew, because they quite like Bartholomew, and I think I'm going to leave the foxes on this lot for that reason. Oh, sit there, Gabriel. Oh, I wanted you to sit next to your wife. I wish you could assign chairs at a dining table. Because if you think about family dynamics and dining tables, usually there are set positions. Like I know my family when I was a kid and a teen, people sat in very particular spots at the Christmas lunch, all that kind of stuff. And now I'm going to get her to blow out the candles. We're going to do it straight away. You come back here. You need to witness your wifey's becoming a young adult. Happy birthday, Amy. Ooh, I get to choose a trait for her. She's, I think, currently a loner, and I can't remember what her other trait is. Oh, he didn't get back in time. Oh, she's proper. Given that she's been really leaning into the gardening, I mean, I could just make it loves the outdoors. We'll give her family oriented. She's going to have, I mean, we'll see how many kids they end up having, but I'm imagining at least a couple, maybe more. I don't actually remember what the rules say. I just think it says your first child is the heir, and it says that the female children do the chores. I'm assuming if the first child is female, they'd still have to do some homemaking, but probably not in the same way, because that would be a queen. The other thing is that at this point, Gabriel and Amy don't know. You know, Amy's got an older brother who is the crown prince and will become king when his father passes away. And the king's quite old now. What they don't know is he's unflirty. He's not going to get married. So they'd be raising their daughter on the assumption she's not inheriting the ward estate and that they might have a son. All right. She got some gifts, including from Morty. Oh, they're all singing for her. And Morty's like, all right, I gotta go. Peace out. I was worried this was going to reset and I was going to say she needed this tradition, but it hasn't updated for the fact that she's not a teen anymore. The most exciting bit of all of this is I wasn't going to have these guys try for baby until she was a young adult, because I didn't want to slow her aging down while she was still a teen. I just figured I'd wait. Also, with Judith and Bartholomew, I had quite enough to be going on with, to be perfectly honest with you. So I'm going to get them to try for a baby. I don't know if woohooing is going to count as the party spirit, but that's okay. Lucas is just like really sitting with his food. He's like, yeah, this is great. Oh, I gave the female butler a makeover. It was kind of bothering me how she was like running around in pants and stuff. I didn't think that was very appropriate. So I've put her in like a maid's dress and I'll just change her into that. If the game is going to continue to give her to us as our butler, I prefer that she match the aesthetic of the medieval times a little better. Oh, he's feeling very playful. Now, it's actually Lucas's birthday in 2 days and then he'll be retiring. And that's when things are kind of going to get a bit real for us in terms of money. We have a decent nest egg because obviously I've been having Lucas and Mira in particular make a lot of money. All right, you crazy kids, have fun with that. In terms of work, let's have a quick look. He's got work tomorrow. He's done everything he needs. I also haven't heard yet whether that second round of investing that I did has worked or not. I feel like it won't have. All right, so it's the middle of the night and Jordana has actually quietly knocked on the door and asked if the young master could come downstairs because he has a visitor who won't take no for an answer. Now, if you've seen the machinima or if you cast your mind way back, this is Willow Graham. She's actually the child of Crispin, who was a second gen sim? Third gen. She's also half fae, which is why she's blue. So that's why she's wearing the clothes that she is, because I tried to sort of cover her up as much as possible, but obviously there's nothing I can do about the face. So he's come and said, you know, you wanted to speak to me? And she's like, yep, I bring a message from your brother. This is the entire family tree minus the spouses. There's a lot of them. This is Gabriel, there's Jacob, and then we've got little Gerard, and then his mum, Vivienne, and then we had Rose here. Now, on this side, we had David Jr., who had Crispin, who was the one that had Willow. So I would not even hazard a guess at what level of cousin these guys are to one another. Second cousins twice removed, perhaps. Basically, they're not related anymore. So she's saying, look, my name is Willow Graham. I'm a distant member of the family. And he's like, he knows he's got Graham relatives, so at least he recognises the name. Like his dad actually took in a Graham to be the heir to the church. And she's saying that she lives out in the distant part of the kingdom, near the Fae. Her mother is a Fae. She's not a Fae herself, but she obviously bears their markings. So she's giving him enough context so he knows who she is. And he's like, okay, but you said you had a message from my brother. And she said, yes, well, when he and the princess fled, they came to the Fae. Arya Oakenstock, who is the queen of the Fae in Windenburg, has taken them in. Arya is the black-haired Fae with the green eyes, if you've watched the machinima. So she's saying the queen of the Fae has taken them in. They are safe. They are well. Your brother wanted me to let you know that they're happy. Emily is pregnant, and he also, it's been weighing on his heart that the last conversation you had was a fight, and he wanted me to pass on his apology for hurting you and for hurting the family, but he also wanted you to understand that he did it for love and he wouldn't have changed anything. And now he has a baby on the way and he's over the moon, but he wanted me to pass on his apologies. Gabriel's like, even though he's been mad at Bartholomew and thinking Bartholomew brought this whole execution warrant on his own head, he's also been really sick at the thought that Bartholomew could actually get caught and executed because he doesn't want to see his brother dead. So knowing that he's safe with the Fae actually is a huge load off his mind, and he's like, well, that's actually a really big relief. It's not that he wants his brother dead, he just wishes his brother hadn't made the romantic decisions that he had. And I think after talking to Amy, he's probably actually slating a lot of that blame to Princess Emily more so than Bartholomew, because Amy has explained, look, Emily got herself into trouble with some other nobles and they also got in trouble, and basically given medieval attitudes towards women, she's probably being blamed. You know, she's the snake in the Garden of Eden kind of thing. You know, in the same way that Eve got in trouble for saying, hey, we should eat that fruit. Adam made his own decision. Yeah, I think there's a bit of that going on, a little bit of gendered kind of blaming of Emily. That being said, I mean, Emily was the instigator of a lot of it too. So, you know, how much of that is warranted? So the other thing, because he's asking questions about the Fae court. Are they living in a grand palace? And she's like, well, no, the Fae actually live in the trees. So they're actually living in a cottage. It's not a big place, but they're looked after. They've got food, they've got clothes. The baby will be looked after. Arya is quite fond of Bartholomew, and she's kind of hesitating. And he's like, what? She's like, well, Arya also really hates your father. She says that your father offended her long ago. His church hates her, would hate me because I'm half Fae. That is all true. Order of the Watcher, very bigoted. So Arya had it in for Jacob and saw the opportunity to not only take Bartholomew, who she viewed as Fae-like in his personality, under her wing and protect him from Jacob and the influence of the Order of the Watcher, but simultaneously to spite Jacob. She considers this a win-win. Now, if you've watched the machinima, you will have seen that Arya actually did go to the church and basically rubbed Jacob's nose in it because she couldn't help herself. She was like, basically, yeah, I have your son now. And he was like, what? And realized that it's partly the consequences of his own actions. That's kind of the backstory with words that I tried to convey in the video. I know some of those Sims might not have been instantly recognizable. Oh, apparently you're up. Amy's like, what's going on, Gabriel? Who's this lady? Oh, it is 5 a.m. That makes sense. Do a respectful introduction to Willow. Oh, she's like, nope, I have to go. She came running out to be like, no, wait, you don't have to run. I'm going to get her to maybe cook some breakfast. I've had her cook a bit with Mira, so I might have her maybe make like a bacon and eggs. I feel like I can trust her enough with that, right? Eggs and toast. She's basically trying to be a good housewife / lady of the house. How much cooking she's going to end up doing, I actually don't know. I mean, we do have a butler. In the next generation, I'm actually not going to have any of the female Sims cook at all. It's going to be butlers and the banquet table, and that's it. Oh, sweetie, you're not setting fire to the kitchen, are you? So that's where all of that's at. So I guess the main thing for this part now is I want to actually see if Amy's pregnant. It'll be very exciting. And, oh, how much does this cost to replace? 1,000? Mira, Amy broke the stove. Can you come down and fix it? Thank you. I could actually have him, he's got 6 days of leave and he was about to retire anyway. I could actually just have him use leave and use up all his annual leave, and then how do I do work things again? Feels a little like cheats, but I do sometimes do this in my off-camera saves. I'll actually just run down the annual leave because when you they retire, it's not like they get paid that out or anything. All right, so Gabriel's going to go to work. Oh, he's super tired. That is deeply unfortunate. He had mostly slept when I woke him up, but I also woke him up at midnight. So he's had like half a day. He's probably also been thinking a lot about Bartholomew and hoping that he's well. And the family kind of know where Willow is. She lives in the old forester's kind of cabin thing that Crispin lived in. Desiree knows where she is. Obviously, Desiree lived there for a while, and Desiree's daughter knows where she is. So if they want to get a message to Bartholomew, that line of communication is actually open. Oh, Amy, it might be time for you to learn to repair stuff. Maybe she could come down and read one of Mira's books. Mira's Guide to Thought, Home Maintenance. Mira's Guide to Home Maintenance. Whoa. I guess that's what it's decided the business career outfit is. I mean, it's better than what it could have been, but I was just imagining a suit of some kind. Are you pregnant, Amy? I don't want to cheat and look. I'm just going to stare at you. Oh, yeah, she's definitely pregnant. That didn't take long. That's exciting. And she got pregnant on the summer solstice. Would that be a good omen? I feel like that'd be a good omen. I won't, in this part, have her give birth because I want to get baby name suggestions from you guys. Bear in mind, if it's a girl, it cannot be longer than 5 characters. This is why we had Amy, Emily, and Coral, because I need to fit the word princess in the name field, and there's a cap on how many characters it can be. This is why her aunt's name is Anne. It's also bad for the boys, because obviously you've got an extra 3 characters, because prince is shorter than princess. 3? 2. So apparently we don't currently have any stock investments, and I feel like I'm pretty sure that I did do that. I'm not going to cheat the 1,000 back on again. It's because I've been playing other households. The problem is I do that a bit in Medieval because when I age up Sims, I have to go into the households, especially if someone's dying. I'm going to get him to research stocks so that he has that little moodlet. I just want to get this to work just once. And then I'll say just 1,000 again, just because we'll only get 200 back if we fail. All right, Gabriel's home. He didn't get promoted, but I didn't really expect him to, especially given he went to work exhausted. So he's made his investment. He's researched the stocks. This is the moodlet that I think modifies your chance of success in the stock market. All right, what I might do, I'm going to invite Boston over. We're going to actually invite him to move in. Really? Here? Why do important conversations always happen in this corridor? Come sit with me, Boston. Oh, he did that on his own. A little cutie. Now, Boston technically already lives here. He's saying, hey, look, things have been really working out with Jordana. You know, she's taken on a lot of your duties and stuff. And he's like, yeah, you don't really need me anymore. And Lucas is like, don't be stupid, Boston. You can still help out. Oh, apparently Willow just showed up. I'm going to get Boston to take a lot of the heat off Mira, because Mira is getting quite old. Oh, here we go. Asked to join household. Oh, sweetie's got 20,000 simoleons. That feels cheaty. I'm going to say he had 2, and I'm going to take 18 off us. That's too much. So technically he's at the start of being an adult, but that's because I have aging disabled. I'm going to age him up at the same time as Lucas. He's jealous. Oh, he's cheerful and a foodie. He's afraid of death and has a fear of unfulfilled dreams. I didn't know that they got fears when they weren't like the NPC Sims. Like, he's not in a household I could play. He was a butler. So he was an actual NPC like a fireman. I didn't know they could still get fears. In terms of skills, comedy 10. Comedy 10? Really? Gourmet cooking 8, mixology 8, gardening 7, cooking 7, handiness 6, dancing 5, DJ mixing 5. Right. Some of these skills he shouldn't have. I assume he's got video gaming from playing on his phone at some point. Sweetie, you're pregnant. Are you telling me that better be like a vitamin drink? You're not allowed alcohol. She doesn't know she's pregnant. And also probably doesn't know the harmful effects of alcohol. She might think it's a fortifying tonic. It's funny that Willow showed up. This is Willow when she doesn't have the hood on, by the way. Beautiful. I should actually send her home. But if she's going to be here, she needs to be in this outfit, like covered up. It's unfortunate because it's hot. That's the price you pay for blue skin, I guess. So I figured since Willow was here, maybe she just hasn't headed back to the Fae realm yet. But I thought Amy would probably want to actually have a talk to her and find out what's going on with her sister. She's eating for 2. Maybe Willow diagnosed it. Willow's like, you're with foal. Because Willow lives on her own, but she raises a lot of animals, like the deer in the machine was actually Willow's. She's like, you know, you've got a healthy glow to you. Congratulations. And Amy's like, congratulations for what? She wants to go tell Gabriel, but I'm going to say no because he needs to go to bed. So I'm going to get these guys to talk. Seriously, go to bed. So I think what Amy's main kind of agenda is with this conversation is actually, unlike Gabriel, who wanted to make sure Bartholomew was okay, she's probably actually concerned Emily is pregnant. Lines of succession when you're talking about a royal family are important. I mean, Emily's been disinherited and stuff, but if you think about it, in terms of succession, if her older brother doesn't have kids, Emily would be the next. Like, she's actually the same age. They were triplets. Amy's the youngest. She's the only singleton birth, so there were 4 kids total. So Emily's older than her. Emily's child, especially if she had a son, could be a claimant to the throne in future if there was a contested succession. So that's the kind of thing Amy has to think about. She, again, doesn't know her child is going to inherit either. She's presuming that her older brother is going to get married at some point and have kids. It's a sensible assumption, but also Lucas never did. So she's living with someone who is an example that it's not guaranteed. Thing is that she kind of knows Lucas is gay. Her brother's never shown any signs that he's gay. In modern times, he'd probably be considered asexual. He's just not interested. He's unflirty. He's not interested. Amy's more warning Willow. Emily can be a little bit cutthroat. She's basically saying to Willow, look, just be careful with her. Be careful. And probably saying to Willow, can you let me know the outcome of the pregnancy? She's particularly worried if it's a boy. Although, given the rules of the challenge say Amy and Gabriel's firstborn will inherit, maybe it doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl. I'd been working on the assumption that the males inherited because I know the change in like the British royal family so that the firstborn would inherit regardless of their sex. That only happened in the 1900s. I was working on the assumption it had to be the same, but that's not actually how the rules are written. Boston, you aren't eating that cake, are you? Sorry, bud, I forgot. Please tell me you didn't. You didn't. You're a good butler. I actually think it's good that Willow came back because having someone keep an eye on Emily is probably a good idea. I can't see a path back for Emily to the crown. I could see a potential situation where her child, especially if her eldest is a son, could re-emerge and potentially challenge Amy and Gabriel's child. I mean, obviously there was a lot of that back in the day with royal families and things. Let me know what you think of that as a potential storyline. It would be bad, like Gabriel and Bartholomew's kids fighting it out for the throne could be fun though. Problem is that kind of thing leads to war, and that's very hard for us to represent in The Sims. I just discovered in Boston's inventory this book. This has to be deliberate. There's no way this is a coincidence, and I've never heard of this book before. How to Serve and Not Be Served. Genre, self-help. Author, Alfred the Butler. A who's who of butlers and a how-to guide to butlering. Discover the origins of butlering in Windenburg. Hey, that's where we live. And how the role is adapted to modern butlering in the 21st century. That part, not so much. Inspirational quotes from famous butlers will keep you motivated and moving. Oh my god, that is so cool. And I can't put it in the bookshelf. That's actually a book that only lives in butlers' inventories that you would never even know about. How cool is that? I didn't know that. Props to whoever did that. That is awesome. All right. I'm not going to make a huge fuss of this one. Lucas kind of wants to celebrate his birthday with his sweetie, and it would be very scandalous to have guests over and have the two of them to be like, you know, giving each other cute little hugs and stuff. So I'm going to just get them to blow out the candles, the two of them. He's still doing this in his pajamas as well. Aw. You could do it, Lucas, I believe. Happy birthday, bud. And then I'm going to get him to add candles straight away so that we don't. Seniority, wrinkled bellies, frosty locks, and interminable naps await. I'm probably going to make Boston be completely bald as well. I feel like he's been balding this whole time, so it makes sense to me. Oh, jealous pangs. Oh, because he's got the jealous trait. I was like, why is he uncomfortable all of a sudden? There we go. I feel like that hair actually suits grey hair better. I'm just going to add candles to this and we're going to pop it in the fridge. We'll see how long it lasts. So there you go. We have 3 elders in the house. Not sure how I feel about that. Oh, she wants to discuss her fear of death with an elder. That's perfect. They can like talk to each other about it. Is he afraid of death? No, he's just afraid of work. I should actually have him retire. He's afraid of death. Come talk to Mira. I'm going to leave this part here. Obviously, given we have 3 elders in the house, we're kind of on the fast track to sadness and despair because all 3 of these Sims are gonna like pass in the next probably week. Mira, I think maybe has a couple of days. I haven't actually looked. We will have a little bundle of joy though. She's only not even like she's only in her first trimester. So, oh, she's sick. Mira. I'm very fond of Mira. For a Sim that's not part of the family line, I'm actually super fond of her. Likewise, Lucas. I just love these little babies. Anyway, I'm going to leave this part here. Don't forget to leave baby name suggestions. If you've enjoyed, please like and subscribe. You know the drill. Don't forget to wash your hands, and I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.